Books are incredible. They're brimming with wisdom from some of the most insightful and experienced minds in history. Think about it. There are strategy books from seasoned military generals like Sun Tzu's The Art of War, personal reflections from a Roman emperor in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and even collections of timeless advice from various eras, like Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. All this knowledge is out there, just waiting to be discovered. But the thing is, knowledge only becomes truly valuable when you put it into practice. It's essential to apply what you learn from books to real-life situations to reap the benefits. This isn't always easy. Books present knowledge as straightforward facts or explanations, but it's up to the reader to transform those lessons into actionable steps. For every book read, there's a process to follow to integrate its wisdom into daily life, and I'm going to talk about exactly that today. The process begins while reading the book. You'll encounter moments where something really resonates. A quote, a suggestion, an example, or even a whole chapter with a brilliant explanation. When these moments happen, jot down the lessons you learn. Don't just copy what you read, unless it's a short quote or suggestion. Instead, write your interpretation of what you understood. This exercise helps you consolidate the knowledge you gather. You're creating your own summary of the key points, in your own words, tailored for your understanding. You're creating your own world. When you revisit your notes, all the valuable insights will be there, perfectly articulated by you. If you aspire to be a writer, these notes can serve as a fantastic source of inspiration and ideas for future articles. Now, most people read books without much thought and share whatever grabs their attention in the moment. Sadly, what they often overlook is capturing the truly valuable insights. These gems can fade into oblivion if not noted. However, if you make a habit of capturing what stands out, you're not only more likely to remember it, but also to take action on it. Simply underlining and highlighting sections isn't enough though. You need to actively do something with those marked passages. It's common to highlight and underline multiple parts of a book while reading, but when you revisit those highlights, be discerning. Ask yourself, is this important to me? This question helps filter what to capture. Many quotes I highlight end up in my blog posts. Another thing you can do when you stumble upon a unique concept and feel excited about how it could transform your life is to take a moment to share it with a friend. Talk to them about what you learned and why they should try it too. If your friend agrees, that's great. But if they don't, that's even better. As Hafiz Khan wisely said, you can't convince someone else unless you're thoroughly convinced yourself. If you struggle to explain what is meant to be easily explained, then the explanation won't make any sense. Realize it's time for a self-explanation. If your friend asks for more details, you get to defend the idea, laying out its pros and cons. The more you explain and dissect it, the more it solidifies in your own mind. You can't convincingly argue that something is good unless you're genuinely persuaded by its potential. When you try to convince someone else, you're also reinforcing the idea to yourself, repeating why it's worth the effort. In doing so, you're motivating yourself to strive even harder to make it work. Now, there have probably been times in your life when you would have been much better off if you'd known a certain idea or quote. While you can't turn back time, you can create a mental image of how different life might have been with that realization. When you encounter a life-altering idea, close your eyes and flash back to a challenging time. Visualize a version of yourself who had this knowledge or skill and applied it to overcome the adversity they were facing. Don't just picture the changes, imagine the entire scenario. No matter how painful it might be, think of all the ways you could have fared better if the present you, armed with newfound knowledge, could handle the situation. Envision how you could have dealt with the blow without experiencing all the trauma. Next, visualize a future version of yourself who has already internalized these lessons. As actor and motivational speaker Jack Canfield suggests, visualization can help manifest your thoughts into reality in several ways. It programs your brain to more readily perceive and recognize the resources you will need to act when a similar situation arises. It builds your internal motivation to take the necessary actions to stay on the desired path. It activates your creative subconscious, generating ideas to apply these lessons in your life. It activates the law of attraction, drawing into your life the resources and circumstances you need to keep these lessons in your heart. By visualizing a version of yourself who is already applying these lessons, you open up the possibility for your heart and mind to absorb and integrate them into your psyche. However, it's crucial to remember that you can't apply irrelevant knowledge. If a book has no connection to your current circumstances, it's unlikely you'll integrate its insights into your life. I've personally fallen into this trap many times, buying books recommended by mentors. I often spent hours working through Ray Dalio's Principles, only to realize it had no relevance to my student life. So, it's not your fault if you're having trouble finding applicable lessons in a book. It could be the wrong book or just the wrong time for that book. Bill Gates completes every book he begins, not by forcing himself through a bad book, but by choosing with purpose. The better you understand why you're reading a particular book, the easier it will be to apply its lessons in your life. Before tackling any book, ask yourself, what big questions are you currently facing? What skills do you want to develop? If a book does not promise to cover these topics, skip it. You will not be able to apply its lessons. Do your research, make an informed choice, and then read thoroughly. You'll enjoy your reading experience if you select the right content at the appropriate time. Most people read a book, experience a few aha moments, and then forget everything they've learned. Unless you think and act while reading, you will never apply the book's lessons in your life, and you will never revisit a specific concept again. Yes, it is comforting to postpone action, but let's be honest. Procrastinating wastes your time. I speak from experience. I used to think, what a wonderful insight. I'll do it when I finish the book. However, the application part never really happened. Rereading the same ideas will not improve your life. The application of these ideas will make a difference. If you don't apply what you read as you go, you'll forget it. Even the most profound information is meaningless unless you put it into action. Once you've started reading the right book, avoid procrastination. While reading, apply its wisdom. Stop at the page and apply what you've learned to your daily life. For example, in High Performance Habits we learn about the effectiveness of morning affirmations. I paused during the chapter to record my own affirmations. In Stillness is Key, Ryan Holiday discusses the benefits of journaling. When he convinced me, I set an empty notebook and a pen on my nightstand and began journaling that very evening. When you come across useful advice, create an environment that encourages you to act on it. Add an item to your to-do list or place an action item in a specific location. If you've read The 5 Love Languages, try one on the same day. If you read Cal Newport's Deep Work, begin changing your work schedule the following morning. You'll get the most out of your books and be able to apply their knowledge to your life if you break them down into actionable steps. Writing about what you read is another great way to apply what you've learned. One of the most effective ways to reinforce your learning is to teach it to others, because writing about what we read not only reinforces the ideas, but also allows us to synthesize them and gain our own insights. This is why you'll often see that the best teachers are also avid readers. They know what they're talking about because they've internalized what they've read. Reading is the quickest way to broaden your horizons and improve your lifestyle. However, do not set a goal of reading a certain number of books each year. Instead, choose the best book for your current situation, take action based on what you read, and revisit the truly life-changing books.